Vaccinated tourists are now permitted into Australia. Today's video update brings excellent news for vaccinated tourists to Australia. Australia is set to welcome international travellers back, nearly 2 years after closing its borders. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has announced that from February 21st, Australia will reopen its borders to fully vaccinated travellers. He will end some of the world's most challenging and longest-running pandemic travel limitations. Recently, Morrison said that it had been almost 2 years since he decided to close the borders to Australia, and if an individual is double vaccinated, they look forward to receiving the person back to Australia. Now let's look at when Australia shut its borders to protect itself against the coronavirus pandemic. In March 2020, Australia shut its border. Since then, Australians have been barred from departing for most of the time. Only a handful of travellers have been granted exemptions to enter. The rules have split families, hammered the country's extensive tourist industry, and sometimes prompted harsh debates about Australia's status as an open, modern, and outward-looking nation. With the rollout of its vaccination program last year, Morrison's government has gradually relaxed the rules for Australians, long-term citizens, and students. Philip Goh, the International Air Transport Association Regional Vice President, said that the Asia-Pacific region has been very cautious in its border restrictions. Still, in recent weeks, they have noticed growing momentum towards relaxation of travel restrictions in the Philippines, Thailand, and to some degree, New Zealand. He further stated that they encourage other governments in the Asia-Pacific to relax their border restrictions further, to enable aviation businesses, accelerate their much-needed recovery, and bring maximum benefits to their economies. Australia followed a COVID-0 policy for most of the pandemic, including strict snap lockdowns. But it abandoned the policy after the distribution of vaccines. 79% of Australia's population has now acquired 2 doses of the coronavirus vaccine. Even as the Omicron variant began to drive up infections, the country has pushed ahead with easing curbs. The previous week has seen a slowdown in daily infections and hospital admissions. Recently, Australia reported just over 23,000 new cases. The figure indicates the lowest daily case count in 2022 and is well below the elevation of 150,000 around a month ago. Around 2.4 million cases have been recorded since Australia's first Omicron case was detected. Since the pandemic, Australia has counted approximately 200,000 cases, and 4,248 individuals in Australia have died from the virus. Our video update ends here. Subscribe to our channel for the latest Australian immigration updates. Thanks for watching.